I never thought moving to a new city could feel this strange. It was supposed to be a fresh start, a new beginning in a place far away from the stress and chaos I left behind. But something about this town, something about this place, it's been eating away at me since the moment I arrived. It all started when I got the offer, a job opportunity that seemed too good to be true. A position opened up in a small city, one I had never heard of before. Quiet, remote, and according to the few articles I could find about it, charming. A place to settle down and finally live the peaceful life I craved. The drive was long and lonely. The roads stretched for miles without any signs of life, just endless woods that seemed to close in on me the farther I went. I didn't think much of it at first. After all, remote towns come with remote roads, right? The town was small, quaint, even. It looked like one of those places frozen in time, where everyone knows each other, and things move at a slower pace. But that's where the charm ended. The house I moved into was bigger than I expected. Too big for one person, really, but it was cheap, almost suspiciously cheap. It's a fixer-upper, they said. It's got character. What they didn't say was that the house felt wrong, like it didn't want me there. There was one room that I couldn't bring myself to go into. The door was old, scratched, and had a strange lock on it, one that didn't match the rest of the house. At first, I assumed it was a storage room or something, but every time I walked past it, I felt like something was watching me, like something behind that door wanted me to open it. That first night, I barely slept. Every sound felt amplified, every creak, every groan of the house. I kept telling myself it was just the house settling, that it was old and needed time to adjust to its new occupant. But deep down, I knew something was off. It was around 3 a.m. when I heard it. A loud thud coming from downstairs. My heart raced, and I told myself it was nothing. Maybe a box had fallen over or a window had blown open. But the sound kept coming. Slow, deliberate footsteps. I crept downstairs, every step making the floorboards creak beneath me. The footsteps had stopped, but the house was unnervingly quiet. I shined the flashlight around, expecting to find something, anything, that could explain the noise. But there was nothing. My heart stopped. The door that I had ignored all day, it was opening. I don't know what possessed me to step forward. Every instinct I had screamed at me to turn around, to leave the house and never come back. But I had to know. I had to see what was behind that door. The room was small, barely large enough to stand in, but what caught my attention were the markings on the walls. Symbols, scratched into the wood, chaotic and unrecognizable. In the center of the floor was a circle, dark and stained with something I didn't want to identify. It wasn't until I felt the cold breath on the back of my neck that I realized I wasn't alone in that room. From that night on, things only got worse. Doors slammed shut on their own, objects moved when I wasn't looking, and every time I walked past that room, I could feel eyes on me. I tried to ignore it, tried to convince myself that I was just imagining things. But the whispers wouldn't stop. They would start at night just as I was about to fall asleep. Faint at first, like someone was standing just outside my room, whispering my name. But as the nights went on, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. And they weren't just calling my name anymore. They were telling me things, dark, terrifying things. I tried to leave. I packed my bags, got into my car, and drove out of town. But no matter how far I drove, I always ended up back at that house. It was like the town wouldn't let me leave, like the house had claimed me as its own. I was trapped. I don't know what I expected to find. Maybe I thought I could reason with whatever was haunting me, or maybe I just wanted it to end. But as I stood there, in the center of that room, I realized the truth. The house didn't want me to leave, because it needed me, haunted, defeated. I was never supposed to leave.